G'day, Groovers. Welcome back to the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. Been a big couple of days in the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. Tonight we are making air fryer Moroccan chicken, and it's one of these recipes that you can pretty much whip together on a weeknight. Like, it's a sort of 30-minute deal, partly because we are going to be cooking in the air fryer. Daylight saving has thrown me. It's like 7 p.m. here. Sunny had her dinner at 6:30, so it's already kicked in, so it's a bit of a later dinner, but when it's still light outside, it doesn't feel like it's really late. But what we're going to do is basically cook in the air fryer for the first time on this channel. So anyone with an air fryer, enjoy. You can obviously cook stuff like this just using your barbecue and a roasting pan or using your traditional oven, but I promised I'd do an air fryer recipe, and so here we are. Now, firstly and most importantly, in Morocco, instead of the word delicious, they say B9. B9. We're going to be marinating chicken and veggies in lots of Moroccan spices and then serving it with a nice, refreshing tzatziki. Hey, Deb. Well, I've put the link to the recipe in the description, but follow along because this is how you can cook dinner in half an hour. Like, this is a perfect weeknight dinner. In fact, I can even show you how to make it even less time, but we are going to be doing all the Moroccan spices by hand, but you can always buy yourself a jar of ready-made Moroccan seasoning, and that will speed things up even more. But I'm going to show you how to essentially make a mix like this using your herbs and spices. Pretty awesome. Now, the quantity that I'm making, I'm only using 500 grams of chicken thighs, but I'm adding extra veggies. So I'll probably get about 4 serves out of this. But again, this is a Diet Doctor recipe, and it's one that's accessible if you're not a member, and you can just punch in there how many servings you want to do, and it will adjust all of the ingredients for you. It's pretty awesome. But the first thing we're going to do is get all the chicken and veggies cut up and in the bowl marinating. Now, this recipe is lovely even if it marinates for 10 minutes. If you've got the luxury of marinating it for 3 or 4 hours, even better. But it is yummy even after just 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do first is chop up all the chicken and veggies, and then we'll let that marinate for 10 minutes while I make the tzatziki, and then we're going to whack it in the air fryer. So with the chicken thighs, you don't even need to cut these up too much. Like, I'm literally just going to cut them into sort of smaller. You don't need to go bite size. With thighs too, you don't need to trim the fat off as much as it's tempting, because it's kind of gross, because it does actually disintegrate, chicken thigh fat. I used to spend hours and hours and hours trimming it all off, and yeah, many years ago making a curry, someone was like, the fat dissolves. And I was like, no, I had no idea. But yeah, so I'm just trimming them down into sort of thirds, I guess. I mean, you could do halves or you could even do them whole. It really doesn't matter. But because I've chucked in extra veggies, I am cutting them down a little bit so that there's more chicken to go around. This is one you can freeze too. So if you have heaps of leftovers, pop it in your freezer. You can reheat it in the air fryer from frozen. And just, if you've got some Greek yogurt floating around, just put a blob of it on top. You don't even need to make the tzatziki, and there you go, dinner's done. But for me, tomorrow I'll probably have some of this for lunch, and then I might freeze the other portions, because tomorrow I'm going to be making fish cakes. It's all happening in the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. You're lazy, you buy the stir-fried chicken packets. Well, there you go. Grab yourself some Moroccan seasoning, and you won't have to do it from scratch. But I've got all my spices and everything lined up, ready to go. We are going to be doing it from scratch. So the thighs are done. Way easy. Just put them to one side. Now, this recipe doesn't say to use any veggies other than capsicum, but I've got some veggies that I want to use up. So I'm adding extra veggies, and my air fryer is quite a big one. You'll see it in a minute. It's not one of the little ones with the basket. So yeah, I'm just adding more veggies that I want to use, and that will make it go a little bit further. And I try to do recipes on Sundays. I'm going to anyway. Each weekend I'll try to do a recipe where you can use up leftover veggies and stuff like that. Or at least one recipe a week will be how to use up all those little bits of veggies you've still got floating around. So I've just done the zucchini in little strips, trying to keep everything sort of around the same size. I'll cook more evenly. Hi, Pandora. Hello. You love your air fryer. Yeah, look, I was a bit slow getting into the air fryer craze, and now I love it. It doesn't save much more electricity than using your oven, but if you're reheating a meal, you've got this tiny little glass dish in your huge oven cranking away. I don't feel as guilty when I do it in an air fryer. See, I've got a bit of a leftover green capsicum, although Pandora would call it bell pepper. But I've got to tell you, like, I am amazed at how good veggies are in an air fryer. I was just chatting to a friend before, and we were saying they really should be called air ovens, because I think people just think it's just for fried food. And because they do chips and wedges so well, I guess that's why they got the name air fryer. There's another little bit of capsicum to use up. Because, yeah, they really are. I mean, they're just another oven. It's the way they heat up the food is different. In your convection oven, the thermostat is constantly kicking over to try and keep everything at the same heat. But in an air fryer, it heats up, and then it just whizzes the air around, and it doesn't have to keep heating it. That's the difference. But, you know, being able to cook your fries and wedges and stuff without using oils and having, if not better, results, they're pretty appealing. And they do wedges and fries. And reheated pizza is another thing that's really good. I mean, pizza's great in them, but if you order a pizza and you've got leftover pizza and you want to heat it up the next day, if you chuck it in your air fryer, it'll be crispy and fresh like the day you got it delivered or you picked it up. So just cutting up the red bell pepper or red capsicum, depending on what part of the world you're in. And yeah, I'm doing sort of chunky strip sizes. How have you been, Pandora? I haven't seen you for ages. What have you been up to? And Deb, how did the other night go with Locke? Did you enjoy the 1 a.m. picking him up from the after party? Whatever it was. I'm taking a bit of the pith out of this one just because there's a lot of pith and it's pissing me off. It's not really, but now if you've got a small air fryer, you probably will need to do this recipe in batches. But I can put 3 baskets or through two trays in a basket in mine, so I'm hoping it's all going to be able to go in together. So that's the capsicum, and we're just adding everything into a bowl. We're going to put the chicken in a minute too, mix it all together and let it just marinate for about 10 minutes. We're using the cucumber for the tzatziki. Leftover spring onions or shallots. Whack them in too. But you can add any leftover veggies. If you're into eggplant, you could pop eggplant into it. I wouldn't do carrots because they will cook a lot differently to even though the air fryer is pretty good. I mean, I don't mind a crunchy carrot, but they don't absorb the Moroccan flavors. And the other thing I'm going to add, which isn't in the recipe, is an onion, a Spanish onion, because I bought it to make something and I didn't make whatever it was for. So we'll use him up as well. But yeah, this is like really easy, super fast and super healthy and great weeknight cooking. And also, I mean, look, your kids may not like super spicy, but Moroccan, you can tweak spices and leave out things that are going to make it family friendly. And I'm just doing the onion in wedges. Oh, there's a bit of skin. It's kind of weird chopping up things on my stove top. I don't normally do that. So there's the chicken, the onion wedges have gone in as well. And then that is pretty much it for the veggies. Let's get another fork. Adulting is hard. He had a great night. Yeah, do try it in your air fryer, because then you'll suddenly be like, oh my God, why haven't I been using my air fryer more? Look at the beautiful mint out of my garden. Like, it's going off. I picked way more than I need because I love putting mint into my water bottle when I go to the gym, and during the day I have a jug of water with mint in it too. And I could, of course, make a mojito, I guess. All right. So that's all of the veggies chopped up, and then I'm just going to put the chicken in there as well. And I'm just going to mix all of that together. I'll get rid of the compost bowl. We are going to mix it again, obviously, when the spices go in, but I don't mind an initial bit of a mix around as well. And now the Moroccan spice mix. Like I was saying, if you want to, look out in your deli or your supermarket, whatever, and if you can buy ready-made Moroccan seasoning, this will speed up the recipe even more, because you can just chuck in a couple of tablespoons and mix it all up. But I'm going to show you how to make it from scratch. So we're going to start off with a tablespoon of paprika. There she blows. I'm going to put them out of the way as I do each one so I don't miss any of them out. Then ground cumin. Who's coming over for dinner? Are you coming over? 2 teaspoons. Even though it smells like sweaty socks, I love cumin so much. But that first waft of it, you're like, ooh, delicious. We're going to put in a teaspoon of salt. I've just taken some of the leftover cumin off with my clean thumb. I washed my hands before I started cooking. A teaspoon of salt. We want a teaspoon of ground coriander. I love Middle Eastern, Moroccan, Israeli food. Oops, I love all the spices. But yeah, you can certainly tweak this if you want it to be a bit more family friendly. I'll show you how in a sec. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. Ground. I forgot that one's got one of the few jars I've got with a little sprinkler distributing thing on top of it. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of turmeric. Now, I will give the measuring spoon a proper wipe with some paper towel, because turmeric stains everything. And I don't want turmeric in my other spice jars. Next up, we're going to add some ground ginger. Just half a teaspoon of that. You don't want to overwhelm the dish. Veggies are so good in air fryers, Deb. Like, because, yeah, you get this sort of char grill thing happening, but then the fleshy bits all sort of still really moist with a bit of crunch, and all that beautiful flavour comes through. Like, it's really yummy. And then if you want to hold back on any spice, leave out the last one, the cayenne pepper. That is like absolutely optional. You could also use harissa paste if you had that. And I'm only putting 1/4 teaspoon because it is punchy. And that's the spices. And then the recipe says for 4 servings to do a tablespoon of olive oil. But because I've added extra veggies, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in. And then we mix it all up and let it sit for about 10 minutes. So it can all marinate and get all scrumptious. I find tongs are a really easy way to sort of mix things together. I probably should have actually put this. In fact, I will. I've got a bigger bowl. We need a bigger bowl. I do like the green bowl, but we're going to go crazy. This bowl's got a bit more splashing room. Yep, moist. I said it. Quite a lot of the spices have ended up on the side of my bowl, so I'm going to get a little spatula and scrape them off because I want as much flavour as possible. And they've already started mixing together really well with the oil. Get into the bigger bowl. Moist, 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 Deb. All right. So give it a good mix. Oops, flick it all around the place. The messier the better. I'm actually just going to put a tiny splash of olive oil in because some of it ended up on the edge of my green bowl. Look how beautiful and colourful it is. And it's going to be beautiful and colourful when it comes out of the air fryer too. So mix it all around. Smells incredible, but you do want to get oil onto every bit of chicken and every veggie, and also a good mix of those spices. Now you could do a little side bowl and mix all the spices together and chuck it in, but I'm showing you the easiest and quickest way to do stuff on this channel because I want to encourage people who find cooking a drag to see that it's not a lot of effort to make some pretty yummy stuff. So that's pretty well mixed through now. Everything's got a bit of oil and some of the spice mix on it. Looking good. So that's just going to sit over there for 10 minutes and marinate. And while that's happening, I'm going to make my tzatziki. Now, this recipe, I would ignore the this tzatziki recipe because it does the whole, you know, let all the liquid come out of the cucumber and press all the moisture out with a tea towel and all that kind of shit. I can't be bothered with that. I'm happy just to slice up the cucumber and chuck it straight into the tzatziki. And as luck would have it, that is the last of my tub of Greek yogurt. And I've actually got over here out of shot. There you go. My yogurt maker is making a new batch of Greek yogurt. But this is more than enough for me for tonight. I'll probably use half of this. But, yeah, this recipe talks about grating cucumber and all kinds of stuff. And I'm thinking, no, the least amount of washing, the better. Washing up. So I'm going to show you the Tory version, the simpler style tzatziki. So just keeping an eye on that amount of yogurt and sort of working out the ratio. Just slice up however much cucumber you want in it. But you're grating and getting all the water out of it and stuff. Don't worry about it. It doesn't, you don't need to be that precious, in my opinion. That's probably enough. And then I'm just going to thinly slice these cycles of cucumber. I do love me some cucumber, so I tend to go a bit chunky. Like, I don't mind a lot of cucumber in my tzatziki. Some people like just a few strips. Every dish I've had this week, I've had tzatziki with it. Like, I made the tzatziki last weekend and had it with the Greek Keftiti's bowl. Then I made crazy burn the roof of your mouth chicken, and I had it with that because it was the only way I could get it to cool down. I didn't actually show you how to make that chicken, and I'm never going to because it was blow your tits off. It was delicious, but it's the sort of thing, if someone who doesn't cook much tried it, they'd be like, this is why I hate cooking. I know this bowl's a bit small too. We need a bigger bowl. Let's see if I can delicately mix this one together. You love spice in the dish? Oh, yes. Spice in the dish is the way. We definitely need a bigger bowl. Crikey. I thought because I only had a little bit of Greek yogurt that I'd be able to do it in there, but nay. All right. So just give that a little bit of a mix together. And then I don't have any fresh garlic still because the fresh garlic that I could have bought the other day looked terrible and it was like ridiculously expensive and it looked like shit. So I'm just putting a little bit of garlic paste in. Like about a teaspoon worth is the equivalent of a clove. Mix that all in. And the other day, the tzatziki I made, we put dill in it. But for the Moroccan one tonight, we're going to put some of the mint that I've just picked out of my garden. Oh, this is crazy. I've had this mint plant ever since I moved back here, 2003. And every year it just gets bigger and brusher and crazier. And in fact, I've now got 2 pots of it because I moved it from a smaller pot because it was starting to become so impressive. And the other pot, which has now got a succulent in it, is fully surrounded. The succulent's completely buried under a heap of mint because there must have still been some mint roots in the other pot. But just pick some leaves, however you want. If you don't want to use mint, put in some pepper. That's what you sub out. If you're not a mint fan, this is going to be more than enough. And I'm actually going to just really thinly slice it, but you could also use your kitchen scissors. I've used quite a bit of mint. If you were going to do, like for a bigger batch, I've sort of used the equivalent, like about a tablespoon is for the bigger batch. But again, I love my mint, so you do what you want to do. But yeah, if you don't want to put mint into your tzatziki, you can use pepper. So there's the mint, and then lastly, a little bit of salt goes in as well. And mix it all together. And then that can just sit in the fridge till we're ready for dinner. This is quite thick because I've put a lot of cucumber and mint in it. But this is going to be delicious on top just to cool down those spices. And I probably will eat all of this tonight. Luckily, I'm making some more Greek yogurt as we speak. So that can just go in the fridge for the moment. Now I need my big board back and it's now covered in bowls. Give me a sec. I learned this lesson very early on with an air fryer. You need a chopping board to put all the food onto your trays because the trays have got little holes. Hello, Sunny. Hello. You're saying hi to everyone. You've got lots of dinner there, Sunny Bum. Yeah, use a chopping board to put all the things into your air fryer tray because not a lot drips through. It's really interesting. I rarely have to clean the drip tray in my air fryer, even with things that are quite liquidy. It's interesting. But the next trick with an air fryer is that you want to preheat them. Oh, you smidgy girl. Hang on a sec. Someone wants attention. Hello. You gonna have some of your dinner? Yeah, it's TV time tonight. You all right? You finish up your beef and tomato. Looks good. Just gotta wash my hands when I gave Sonny a pat. Oh, Sonny. I'm on YouTube's Groover. So, yeah, with your air fryer, you want to heat them up before you add everything. Actually, I just said my drip tray never needs cleaning and it just needs a quick wipe. A few crumbs on there. So we're going to be cooking this at 190 degrees Celsius or 380 Fahrenheit. And to preheat it, oh, wait a minute. I don't think I can do 190 on this. Yes, I can. And then minutes time, we're going to heat it up for 4 minutes. And while that's heating up, my air fryer can have 3 shelves in it, 3 baskets. So this is like the deep basket. And then I've also got 2 trays. And the chicken and veggies are going to be distributed. Like I said, if you have a smaller air fryer, you will need to do it in batches. If I wasn't live, you could have this done in 30 minutes, especially if you use the already made Moroccan seasoning. Next time I make this, I will use this because I haven't opened it yet. I'm keen to try it. So while that's heating up, I'm going to start putting meat and veggies onto I'm going to do it on the 3 baskets. And yeah, if you have got the luxury of letting stuff like this marinate for a few hours, even better. You don't want to put too much stuff on the tray. You want it to be spaced out a little bit. You don't want it to sort of stew. So just sort of like that. We'll do the next tray on top of that one. But if you've got the air fryer with a little basket, just do it in batches. If you've got kids, send it out to the kids first and then do the grown-ups last. I'm going to have to put a bit more on each of the trays because there's a lot of vegetable matter. Gosh, it smells yummy. It smells delicious. And yeah, once the air fryer is heated, even while we open the door to put the trays in, like it takes a long time for them to cool down. They do hold on to the heat, and then once you whack it in, it just maintains the temperature, whereas when you use your oven, the thermostat is constantly adjusting to keep it that temperature, whereas the air fryer, the hot air just circulates. I'm really keen for you to try this, Deb, and let me know how you feel about it because it's I love veggies, but the way they get done in air fryers, they really are good. What did you have for dinner on this Sunday night? And are you feeling a bit foggy after daylight saving? How cute's my air fryer? It's like a miniature of my oven. My oven is stainless steel. Even like the handle and everything, it's really similar. And it's cute. It just sits on my bench top. Although when I use it, I do pull it away from the wall because, you know, it's a hot cooking thing. But it does live, it tucks away in the corner. It doesn't take up mountains of bench space. And I don't have mountains of bench space. So I was very fussy about what sort of air fryer I would get. But once we whack these in the oven, we're going to cook for like 15 to 20 minutes. We want the veggies a little bit charred. Obviously, we want the chicken to be cooked through as well. You okay, Sonny? Do you feel neglected? Once I've got my dinner, we'll have TV time. She loves watching TV with me. She's a shocker. All right, I'll put in each tray. I'm just going to close that for a sec because this last bit of veggies can fit in the bottom basket. There we go. Look how colourful it is, and it smells incredible. And then we're going to go back to, actually I'm going to swap those over. I'm letting all the heat out now. All right, that's better. We're going to put it back onto 190. And we're going to set it for 15 minutes. Much quicker than roasting your veggies in the oven, right? You've ordered pizza for Locke. Oh, you did a lot of meal prepping. So what did you make? I watch meal prep channels on YouTube. I love meal prepping. I'm a sucker for a good meal prepping channel. Some of them I'm like, oh, God, I wouldn't eat any of that. Like, it just made a freezer load full of what looks disgusting food. And then there's the Japanese ones, the women that go, today I prepared 5 lunches for my husband for the week. Oh, my God, the lunches look incredible. They've got all the fun gadgets and everything. Right. So this is going to cook for 15 minutes. One thing I have learned with my air fryer is generally I cook it for a couple more minutes than the recipe. Like, I like things done a bit further along. At about the 7 or 8 minute mark, we will pull out each tray and just give it a bit of a mix around. But other than that, if you were not live on YouTube right now, I'd be filling up my sink and doing the dishes as we go. So I've basically got 15 minutes to clean the kitchen. But instead, I'm happy just to hang out and chat. Cheers, everyone. It's water. It's water. It's not neat vodka or anything. It's getting my plate. Plating up. I don't have a heap of plates in my kitchen, but these are the ones on the bottom of a small stack. But I think this will be pretty for plating up. So you'll get to see all the lovely colours of all the veggies and everything. The other thing with an air fryer is they are an oven. So don't ever take anything out of them without wearing an oven mitt, or you'll burn the fuck out of your hand. And that's not from experience. Actually, I can put my spices away. Let me do a little bit of packing up. One more. There she blows. There she blows. All right, they're packed away. I'll put the garlic back in the fridge. Those pancakes I made this morning were delicious too. Thoroughly recommend anyone who likes pancake. If you're watching the replay, g'day, good to see you here. If not, I can't see you because you're watching the replay. But there is a pancake recipe I made this morning for brunch, and they were delicious. Thoroughly recommend. But yeah, with an air fryer, just experiment. I mean, it's no different to learning what your oven's sort of moods are like as well, because they all have their own personalities. I'm just going to give my tongs a rinse. Because we're going to be doing some tossing in a minute. I don't know where Deb went. I wanted to hear what meal prepping she did. Right, there to go. Do you guys, if you ever have dinner on your own, do you light a little candle? I just lit my little candle. It's worn out. I'll do it when I sit down. I've got to go and grab a candle from the other end of the house. You did butter chicken, taco minces, a bean mix, and pulled pork, plus cookies and chocolate custard. Wow. Yum. I do love a meal prepping day. It makes your week so much easier, doesn't it? And it's so yummy too. Like, I love getting home from work and it's like, dinner is served. All right, I'm going to do some tossing. Sorry, Deb, you said no tossing, but I'll just show you how they're coming along. Oh, wait. Forgot to pause. But that air will still be floating around in the air fryer doing its job. Oh, God, this is so yummy. I'm not surprised, though. Every veggie dish I've done in my air fryer, I have absolutely loved. Next tray. Oh, we've had a spill in aisle 6, Groovers. Okay, I'll be doing a bit more cleaning of the air fryer. Sometimes the air fryer, you really only need to clean the racks. Like, I mean, I give the interior a wipe, but, you know, it doesn't need, like, a crazy amount of cleaning. Much quicker than cleaning an oven. So the last one. And the last one I've noticed, the higher up the racks, the quicker it cooks. So I can't swap it because this is the basket. But this one I might leave in a little bit longer. I'll take the other ones out if they're done. I'll whack that in. And then away we go again. Too easy. I didn't pay attention to which one had enough chicken on it for one serving. So, but yeah, I'll probably get 4 servings out of this. So all the spices are making me sneeze. It does look amazing and it smells great too. Oh, you use barbecue wipes. I use Co cleaning products. So I just use my Co And that has its own little microfiber cloths. But yeah, barbecue wipes would work. Faux show. I love your spread you did today, though. That's very impressive. I thought maybe you had to grab more tissues. It smells incredible in my kitchen right now. I'll get the taxi back out of the fridge. So yeah, dinner before 8. That's not too bad on daylight saving. Technically, it is only 20 to 7. I've got an ADO tomorrow. I forgot. I thought I had to go to work tomorrow, and then I looked at my diary and I'm like, oh, I've got the day off. Nice. But yeah, I'll save a couple of serves. I'll eat one serve tonight. I'll keep another one out for tomorrow, probably for my lunch, because I want to make these fish cakes and a zucchini salad for dinner tomorrow night. And then I'll just freeze a couple of servings, and during summer I'll get home one night, won't feel like cooking, open up the freezer and I'll be like, oh, I've got Moroccan chicken and veggies, bring that on. And you could do a little side salad with this if you wanted to. If you wanted to put potatoes with it, you could do like a little potato bake or some sort of potatoes, like little roast potatoes. I'd put them on their own tray in the air fryer, but this is keto friendly, so you won't be seeing any potatoes in this dish. But I don't really miss, I love potatoes and I still eat them. I just don't eat a lot of carbs anymore, especially in summer. But I don't really miss them. If I didn't eat them at all ever, I would. But I'm quite happy eating just the protein and some veggies without the spuds. There's 4 people watching and only Deb talking. Got to try and get my channel to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. It's only October. 3 months to get to 100, and I think we're on 96. And I did notice in my statistics that a lot of people watch regularly, but they aren't subscribed. So please subscribe. I don't normally grovel for subscribers, but the goal is to get 4 subscribers by the end of the year. Is that too much to ask for? When I first got the air fryer, Sunny hated it. She didn't like the noise at all. But there are noisier air fryers around than this one. But of course it's going to make noise. It's got a big fan in it that's keeping the air whirring around. Oh, that's a lovely thing to do. You freeze things, end up taking them to the marina and give them to the liveaboards so they have something with taste. What a lovely thing to do. Look, I often take leftovers to my neighbour, but she's away at the moment, so I'll freeze these because this sort of thing, like yum, to get home and just chuck it straight from the freezer into the air fryer for like probably 15 minutes. I've always got some sort of Greek yogurt, plain yogurt in my fridge because I make it myself. And, well, I don't really do much. I put it in a container in a lot of boiling water and it sits there for 8 hours. In fact, it's going to be ready in 48 minutes. And just a big blob of that with some fresh mint or whatever and you're done. But also, this is a nice sort of thing to take to work for lunch as well. Have some spicy chicken and veggies in the middle of the day is yummy too. But yeah, my neighbour usually scores any excess. And the only reason I've made so many servings was I had all those veggies I wanted to use up. If I just stuck to the recipe, the only veggies would have been red capsicum. But I had a whole red one. I had 3/4 of a green one. I added a zucchini and I added onion. And if you're vegetarian, make it. Maybe add some green beans, would be another veggie that'd be lush. Obviously, leave out the chicken. You could probably do tofu in the marinade. I don't see why that wouldn't work. Three minutes to go. But yeah, like I said, I'm learning my air fryer, and I find I often do like an extra minute or two because I like how it char grills veggies. And also, yeah, I think I like my food further cooked along. Like the air fryer cooks it to perfection with the time in recipes, but I usually just add a couple of extra minutes because I like things a bit more char grilled or a bit more crunchy. Some of them are older men who don't cook. They would love it, Deb. They would definitely appreciate a home cooked meal. What a lovely thing to do. Look at us feeding randoms, because my neighbour doesn't cook, and she's always grateful for home cooked food. She's a bit of a platter for dinner girl, and so am I. So I was thinking about that the other night when I was making up a little platter for dinner. I should just do that one day on this channel too, because I'm all for platters for dinner. A little bit of everything, some cheese, some crackers, some sort of cold meat, pickled onions, some nuts, celery, carrots, hummus, like make up a yummy little plate. So yeah, I never think to go live when I make up plates, because I do plates for lunch a lot too. Like I'll do a avocado and an egg and some baby spinach, and just sort of make these little yummy nibble plates. All right, we've got 1 minute to go. If you could smell my kitchen right now, oh my God, it is amazing. It smells incredible. But yeah, veggies to me, roast veggies, air fryers are the absolute gold medal winners when it comes to how they do veggies. The veggies out of an air fryer are so good. But like my friend and I were chatting about earlier, my mate Andrew and I were saying, why don't they call them air ovens? Because that's what they really are. All right. Let's see what's happening here. I'll take the top shelf out because that usually cooks faster than the other two. It's really hot, but that's got a good combo of all the things. So this is the one I'm going to do for the taste test. And I am actually just going to I'm going to swap them out actually. I'm going to put this one up the top. And then because of the basket bin, I'm going to put this one down the bottom. But I'm just going to give these ones about 3 more minutes. Back up to 190. 3 minutes. And that will get it to... Yeah, platters are fabulous, aren't they? So yeah, here's the top shelf. And you can probably see it's dripping. Hang on. But yeah, there's some pretty good char happening, like on the onion. The chicken is definitely cooked. It smells incredible. So I'm going to plate this up. And this is dinner. So as soon as I've done the taste test, I'm logging off, boo-boo. Thanks for hanging out, Deb. I don't know what happened to Pandora, and the other people that popped in were watching but not speaking, which is always a bit odd. But that's okay. We love you, lurkers. There's already plenty of chicken on my plate, so I'm taking one piece, keeping one piece off. And then I'll just move this over here. But from there, it just looks like it's all a big burnt plate. It's not burnt at all. It's the Moroccan spices. There you go. It's the shadow. Chuck some of my homemade tzatziki on top. And a little bit of salt and pepper. And there you have it, Groovers. Hi, Mandy. It does look delicious. So it's Moroccan chicken and veggies with tzatziki, but this one's got mint in it. I'm just going to get a knife so I can remove that out of the way. The chicken is cooked perfectly. Check that out. And I'm going to have it with a piece of capsicum and a little bit of tzatziki. But yeah, if you haven't done air fried veggies yet, please do, because they're so delicious. And the last of my trays are cooked. This is a pretty hefty serving too. Like, I don't want to do dinner much bigger than this for me. But here's the mouthful I'm going to try. You can see a bit of mint, capsicum, and chicken. Here we go. Yep. As always. Oh, it's spicy. It's very spicy. Deliciously spicy. Has got a bit of kick to it, so if you don't like things too hot, tone down the paprika and the cayenne pepper. I'd probably even leave that out. I'm grateful for the tzatziki, and especially the mint version. It's very cooling. But it's not too hot, like too spicy hot. It's perfect for me. But yeah, that gave me a bit of a kick for sure. When I first put it in my mouth, I'm like, oh, this is quite mild. And then it's like, oh no, this is hardcore. It's great. It's a 10 out of 10. But I've never cooked veggies in the air fryer that haven't been incredible. Like, I just like the way they get a bit char grilled. But also they retain that bit of crunch and moisture. Moisture, Deb. I mean, look at that mouthful. Don't you want that in your mouth right now? I do. So there you have it. That really can be done in like half an hour when you get home from work. Buy a jar of the ready-made Moroccan seasoning, and it's a very quick dish to make. But, yep, super healthy, absolutely delicious. The chicken isn't dried out at all. It's moist. Moist as moist can be. And, yeah, a big fat 10 out of 10. Thanks for hanging out, Deb, and good to see you at the end, Mandy Hall. Thoroughly recommend it. If you've got an air fryer, do give it a go, because it's a winner Moroccan chicken dinner. Have a good night, everyone, and I'll see you again very soon.